so nervous. All right. Hi guys, this is AruvaChan, and I want to preface this video with a disclaimer. I did not just start wanting to critique people's artwork. This was a requested show, and I am only critiquing people who are on my Discord and their art, and they have specified what they want me to critique. Like, if they want me to critique harsh or if they want me to critique softly, like, it is up to them. I'm not ripping someone a new butthole because I really like to. Like, I just want to say that at the beginning because I would never think to do this. People just really want to hear me and my opinions about their artwork, so please enjoy. All right, so this next artist is Plushie, and I'm not sure if they are new, but they did not write anything that they wanted me to critique, and they didn't say how hard. All they said was that they draw with a mouse, which I commend you, because drawing with a mouse was the worst. And I remember doing that for years until I got a tablet, and I think this is really good for a mouse drawing. I can tell there are some areas where you need to work on, like the pose is a little stiff, and her body kind of goes like this. And I don't know if this is just your style, but she does only have 4 fingers. And if you are going for a more cartoony feel, then that would be good. But if you were going for an anime feel, that would be bad, because in whatever anime thing, you need 5 fingers, like it's a rule. But other than that, it looks really good, and you are doing really good with the shading. I love that you're using cell shading, and I love that you are pulling from colors that are very similar. For the exclamation mark on the shirt, I would make it a little darker because it kind of blends in and it looks a little bit like a stain. And unless that is what you're going for, then, that's great. But I love the detailing you did on her pants, and I love anime. I love cat girls. I don't watch too much anime anymore, but I love cat girls, and I think this drawing is very cute, and it's very inspired, and I actually really like it, and I like the character a lot. I just think if you work on those few things, you will start getting a little bit better. So try to make your characters a little less stiff. Look at poses on anime, like if you draw dynamic poses, like action poses that are mid-battle or, mid-doing something, I think your posing will get a little bit better, and you might be able to actually draw something that is in motion rather than a stock standing looking at you kind of picture. This next artist is called Sinbin, and they said this is their most recent drawing, and they love it, but I want to improve. So to be as brutal as possible. So there are a few things that I am noticing right off the bat. I will say what I absolutely love first, which is the costume design, the fact that it's a magical girl, the hands, they are beautiful, and I can tell your anatomy is more of a cartoonish style, and I can tell what you're kind of doing with the hair. I think the things that I'm not a fan of are, I can't tell what face shape your character has. Like, from what I can see right now, it kind of looks like a sideways egg. And if you trace it out, like her ear would be right here, and her face comes all the way down here, and it goes over like this. So I'm assuming that it just is an egg. And that could be your style, but I'd like to see a more defined face. I love the expression you put with the eyes. I have said this before, and I don't like when people draw the eyelashes through the hair. When you have hair over your face, you can't see underneath your hair. Your hair is not transparent. So that's one thing I personally don't like. If that works in your art style, then please, by all means, go ahead. But that is just one thing that I don't like. I absolutely love the dress design. Stars are my favorite thing ever. And I love that it's kind of like a space magical girl. I wish you would hone in on that more. Like, she looks less like an alien and more like the girl from Lazy Town. If she is an alien, She could also be a magical girl, which I can see she has a wand, but the wand doesn't really correlate with anything other than it's pink and gray and has a star on it. I wish you would go into more detail about what her wand does. Like if it had, I don't know, little shooting stars inside of it, or it wasn't as, I'm not sure about the ribbons. I don't know how that correlates into the dress at any point. I'd like it all to tie back. And the only thing pink on her is her hair, unless that is a wig, which then maybe add some more pink to different parts of her outfit or her uniform. But I definitely think if you kind of tune in on what her idea is, like if she is an alien or a galactic girl, like kind of tune into that, like what would you draw from to make her more space-like or more magical if she is just a magical girl. But I definitely think she kind of has like a early 50s, like Back to the Future kind of vibe going on for her. So I definitely think if you are going for that, hone into that, because your art could improve if you are more connected. Like everything kind of feels connected right now, but it's not enough. It definitely needs the connecting thing, and it could be the stars. Like if you want the stars to be the connector, I would definitely say add stars everywhere. Like don't go overboard, but like give her a star hair clip, or put a star on her boots, or on her wand, give her like multiple stars, like a star in a star, or like the tassels at the end of her wand, I think they could be smaller stars to like show that it is a shooting star. And the ribbons could be like, I'm not sure, a white ribbon to show that it could be a star shooting across the sky. I definitely think if you honed in on these things, it would be a lot more together, because right now it kind of feels like you're just taking inspiration from anything and everything you kind of like, which is okay too. But if you want to improve, I would say definitely pull from things that are space related. Like if she is just a magical girl, give her a certain theme and try to go with that theme. Like you see cat girls with like a bell and cat ears and like a cat tail, and they got fur along their uniform. Like try to hone into one thing, because right now she's got a few different things, and I definitely think if you did that, it would be 100 times better. But overall, I think the design is, it's fairly decent. And I really love the way you drew her hand. Like it's very good. So good job on those parts. All right, this is Depressed Child, and they said they try to go with realism, and I can be brutal if I want. So I really, really like this picture. I think it's very good. My only criticism is I can tell that you use the eraser tool to kind of mold the edges, and I wish you would have done more little hairs like you did at the top. Like I can see up here you did a lot of, fuzzy hairs to show that it was, the edge, but I can't tell on the bottom right here if you had done that. Like I can tell a little bit right here, there's a little bit of hair, which is kind of what I would like all around here. Like if you had done that for everything, like, say for the nose, I think it would have, pulled your piece together completely. But because I can see that and I can pick that out, it kind of loses its essence for me a little bit. It's still a beautiful piece, and I absolutely love how you colored everything. And I love the way, you drew this. I just think if you had added that little bit of detail, it would have been everything, together. But other than that, I definitely think this is a beautiful piece, and you're doing a great job, sweetie. All right, so this is Moshi Boy, and right off the bat, I can tell, Bowsette, we are definitely done with this meme, I think. Everybody's still freaking out about it, but like, it's over. And I know you drew this when it was kind of still in its peak, so I'm not gonna say anything about that. I am gonna kind of comment on a few of the art style things. I definitely think I wish her eyes were a little bit more defined. Like, I'm not wearing my glasses right now and I can't see. Like, I would, if I was looking at this picture, I would lean in and try to see the edges of her eyes because I can't currently see them. And it could be because the picture is a little small, but I wish the edges of the eyes were defined a little bit more. I love the way you color. I think it's very soft, and it kind of reminds me of how I used to color back when I used Psy, and I really like that. It's very stylized, and it's very fun. I do like that you put a lot of shine on her, because I love things that are sparkly and all of this stuff, but that is my own opinion. I really do like that. I think that there are a few places where the shading doesn't really work as well. Like the horns, I feel like the inside kind of peak right here could be, you know, light, and they didn't really need that darkness. And like a lot of her skin right here could use a little bit of lightening. Like I feel like those parts could use a little bit of light, and they don't need this much shadow. Like, try to keep the shadow where the shadow is, like right underneath the hair. And if you need to do, you know, this line, do that too. I definitely think your art style is very cute, and the anatomy is very nice. It's very anime. So I think your picture is very, very good. There are a few places where I'd like to see more definition. Like, I'd like to see a little bit more of a cheekbone on her if it is more of an anime style. And I'd like to see, you know, a little bit more of this like edge thing where you have the shading a little bit softer. I'd like to see that in a few more places other than, you know, her dress. And I do think your art is very stylized, and I really appreciate trying to break off into your own style. Again, with the eyebrows underneath the hair, I personally do not like that style. But if that style works for your character, like your character, you want her to look kind of angry, so you have the eyebrows showing, I understand that completely. I just think, again, you cannot see anything through hair unless your hair is transparent, and that is just a thing for me. But I definitely think your art style is very cute. You definitely need to kind of think about where the lighting is. I definitely think there is like somewhat of a sun, but it's more like over here, like, because you can see shadow on her top of her head and also underneath, and that could just be another stylized choice. But I definitely think this should be lighter if it is. And I think other than that, everything looks really, really good. I love the nails, I love the hands, I love the shape of her body, and I think the shape of her horns and the crown are very nice. I just think those few things could use a little bit of tune-up, and if you did that, I definitely think your picture would have a little bit more character, maybe add a little bit more color to the black, like have a little bit of red undertone because she is a fire person. But that is my opinion, and I definitely think everything you did here was very, very nice. I can see a little pink on the dress, and that's very good. But yeah, overall, this is a very cute drawing, and I really, really like the way you colored and shaded it. And Bowsette. All right, so the next one we have is Little Spoopy. I love the name. And they said, be harsh, be extremely blunt, uncensored, and no sugarcoating. That's hard for me. I don't like to be mean. I'm going to tell you a few things that you should improve, and then I'm going to pull out a few things that you do correctly. So, the first thing I see is there is wonky amounts of shading on this. The anatomy is not great. I can tell you kind of are working from an idea and not a picture, which definitely hurts you in the long run because you kind of know what you want, but you are not using what you have. And I don't know if this is just a beginner thing, but a lot of young artists don't think they can use references because it's cheating. Use references. Use them. If you had used a reference for the water, it wouldn't be light blue, it would be more of a darkish green blue, and you'd be able to see the rocks underneath because she is sitting on a rock. And I can kind of tell that she's standing in water. Kind of looks like she's just standing on water, which might be what you're kind of do. But there is no definition to anything except for the character themselves, which I am proud that you did define them, because the background needs a lot of work. I can tell there are clouds in the background, but that it's not enough. Like, they kind of look like white blobs in the distance, and the kind of landscape that she is in front of doesn't exist. It's just green, and it's blurry green. Like, even if you had just added a few brush strokes to the green, like, to give it sort of like, oh, it's grass, that would have been better. I definitely think you need to use references when you draw. Like, I like the way you kind of drew the rock, because there is some sort of a light source hitting the rock from the side and the character, which I do appreciate. I love that you're trying to use a source of light, and giving that character a little bit of light on that one side is very good. I can tell you have listened to somebody else in the past who has said you need to find your light source, but I definitely think your surrounding does not reflect that. There is no light source on the water other than right here, which is mostly I'm assuming just water, but the reflection of the water does create that kind of white effect on water. Like, the lighting of the water gives it that, and the color of the sky also reflects where the sun is in the sky. Like, if the sun is over here, like it kind of is implying with your character, the clouds would not be this white and the sky would not be this blue. The grass wouldn't even be this green. Everything would be quite a darker tone, like a hue. Everything would be either more blue, like a deeper blue, like the green would get more of a, oceany green, and the sky would become light and purple and pink and yellow and orange, and these rocks would have more of shadows on this side and a little bit of lighting up here, and most of the water would be dark. And I know you have worked on this, because I can see that you have a lot of detail going into it, and I like the character design. She kind of looks like a fish girl. You need to work on your anatomy a lot. There's a thing that beginner artists do, that they either hide one eye, which is this. I see that. They hide one eye, or they hide their hands, and you didn't hide this hand, which I am proud of you. You need to work on your anatomy a little bit, because this should not happen. No arm bends like that. You have a little bit of reach to your arm. So if you extend this part down a little bit and have it bend inward like this, like she's going like this with her arm, I feel like that would help a lot better. This isn't too bad. I'm okay with the shape of her body. I can tell where her knees are, even though they are a little bit high on her body. But your other arm is gone. The other arm is completely missing. I can see there's a little bit of green right here, but I definitely don't think you can in the video right now. You can't see her other shoulder. The way she's bending, you would be able to see her other shoulder right here. And I'd like to see her other hand doing something, like even if it's just, behind her head or, on the rock over here. I definitely think adding those little touches, like little details, help the picture a lot. And you wouldn't think it, like, this is a believable pose, but I definitely think, where's her other arm when I see this? So I like that you are definitely trying, and I can see that you are trying. I definitely think you're getting it down with the lighting. That's beautiful. I love you for that. I like that you are using a little bit of black for your shading, because a lot of artists don't go dark enough. But I wish you would do that in other parts, like in this leg. You could add a little bit of darkness right here, right where it meets her swimsuit. And you could even do most of this arm black, because it is behind her. But I want more of that darkness in the whole picture, because it is too light. And I'm sorry if I keep going around in circles, but that's really what I focus on. Everything can be improved with a little bit of shading, and I definitely think your background needs a little bit more definition. So that's definitely what I think about your drawing. It's overall, it's very good. And I have another one here, which I definitely think, I love that you are using a little bit of, you know, darker colors, but I definitely think the background again needs to be more defined. I am okay with the anatomy because I can tell you're more of a beginner. But I definitely think your character designs, like, I know this is Metaton, but your character designs and your attention to the detail in that are very good. I just think you need to work on the anatomy and the backgrounds. So, there you are. Alright guys, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble and rant about your stuff. Thank you so much for submitting stuff. If you'd like to see your stuff get critiqued, if you'd like me to critique your stuff, please join my Discord, and that's down in the description, the link for that. I hope any of this is helpful. I'm trying to give you useful advice that you can actually, like, practically use. So if you are a little bit confused about the advice that I gave you or the critique I gave you, please let me know on my Discord or in the comments, and I will try to explain a little bit better. And please, please, please leave a like if you liked this, because I have no idea if this is going to be even good or not. So if you like this, make sure to let me know so I can do more of this in the future. Alright? If you guys like me, then subscribe because I make videos every Friday. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!